Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of the Rantables Wrestling Podcast. I said on Friday that I was going to be giving you the results of CHIKARA's first iPPV, and since it just ended about 10 minutes ago, and I'm finally getting my computer back to working so I can actually record stuff, that was a little frustrating, but it's okay because I'm still kind of riding high off the show. For its first iPPV, I would say that they did a pretty good job of just everything. The production was okay. It was pretty good. I mean, it's not going to be the level of WWE or even TNA, but it was similar to their DVDs. And even though there were a few little technical hiccups, there really wasn't much to complain about. There was one technical thing that I would like to complain about, and it's minor. It's that the sound between the announcing and the arena was not mixed very well, so the announcers were much louder than the arena, so we couldn't really hear. It was difficult to hear like anything that was being said in the ring during a match. So it wasn't a big deal, but it was a little kind of weird. So, like I said, not bad, but. It could have been a little bit more even, I suppose. So I'm going to get to the results and talk about the matches real quick. Just so you know, I don't think I did very well as far as how my picks went. I'm looking back at the results, and I think I got let's see, like 1, 2, 3, maybe like 5 of the 8. I think I got 5. Okay, so that's actually not bad. But feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not going to go back and listen to my own stuff right now, anyway. So let's start with the pre-show match between Jigsaw and El Generico, which I think were it shown with the Go Fight Live setup with multiple cameras and with announcers that are not Dr. Keith Lipinski. I'm sorry, guy, but it felt like a pre-show match, which is too bad because I think these two, Jigsaw and El Generico, deserved better than the pre-show match. But then again, the show was there to resolve conflicts and end feuds and the like. So these two had a pretty good, I think it was a 9 or 10 minute match. I'm not going to say it was fairly typical, but it did feel kind of like they were kind of not necessarily throwing in the towel, but it just felt like a very sort of by the numbers affair. Not bad, again. Jigsaw won with, oh god, what did he win with? I can't even remember. It's been 3 hours? Not even 3 hours, maybe. And I've already forgotten how the match ended. I think it was with the double stomp, but feel free to correct me, and I'll credit you in the comments. Again, decent match, decent pre-show match. I wish that they had it on the card, and these two probably would have gotten a bit more of the recognition that they deserve. But hopefully it'll be on the DVD, which I will definitely still be purchasing, even though I just watched the show. Okay. Well, the show proper began with the tag team contest of the Colony taking on the Young Bucks. And in the first surprise of the night, Marty Jannetty accompanied Matt and Nick Jackson out to the ring, which I think was must have been pretty cool for them. The Colony actually won, which was a surprise to me, and they gained their 3rd point and are now eligible to challenge for the tag team championships, which are still being held by Fist, as far as I understand. I'm happy for the Colony, I guess. I'm a little disappointed that the Young Bucks are back to 0 points, but that just means that they have to come back again and earn their 3 points again. So they will get their chance to... Oh, excuse me for yelling. So they'll get their chance to challenge for the tag titles. I would like to see a Young Bucks versus Fist match. I think that would be pretty damn entertaining, I think. Next up, let's see. Next up was Sarah Del Rey, pretty much just destroying Jacob Hammermeyer. It was pretty entertaining. I would say, simply for the reason that Jacob got curb stomped throughout the match. I don't remember if I've said this before, but I do enjoy Jacob's entrance, where he walks out, announces himself, runs to the back while his music is starting up, and then when the music hits that that crescendo, then he appears out of the out of the back as if he had just been introduced by someone else. I thought that was I always like that. Now, again, I apologize for my incredibly poor memory, but I believe after that was Amasis basically announcing his retirement from in-ring competition, which is understandable because as he explained, I guess it would appear that his injuries were so bad that he didn't want to accidentally take a bad bump and be paralyzed for life. So I can understand him retiring. And in true heel fashion, Ophidian turned heel and attacked Amasis, put him in the Ophidian death grip, messing with his neck, and just of course the big thing that happened, of course, was Ophidian removing Amasis' mask in a pretty awful turn of events, really. Now, whether or not this is going to lead to something between Amasis and Ophidian, I don't know. If Amasis was told to stay out of the ring, then he should. Even if it's just for one more match, I wouldn't recommend it. Seeing as how the same thing happened with Edge several months ago, and he retired, so I would say that it's the beginning of a nice heel run for Ophidian, since he's been on a bit of a losing streak as of late, and this will pretty much jumpstart him into one of the top heel slots for the next year's or for next season's CHIKARA events. Next up, we had Greenat facing off against Tursus, and I guess as the announcers were mentioning that Greenat apparently has never defeated Tursus, which I said he had at some point, so it was my mistake, and I apologize for that. But Greenat did get his victory today. And of course, he did it in truly spectacular fashion, with a couple of really impressive feats of strength, like hitting an angle slam and a superplex on Tursus, as well as hitting a body slam on Tursus out on the floor, the unpadded floor of the Asylum Arena or the ECW Arena. It looked painful, but well, for Tursus anyway. But Greenat really showing his might, his mettle. Tursus again showing improvement every time I see him in the ring, throwing drop kicks and trying to do moonsault. Well, he didn't try. He tried to do moonsault, but he didn't actually get to use it, which is okay. But I definitely felt like when Greenat hit the angle slam, it felt like the arena. It looked like the arena shook a bit. So that was pretty awesome. It was another good. All of these matches really were good. I mean, I have nothing to complain about for any of them, any of the matches. So, if you do get the chance, do buy this show. We had an intermission after the Greenat Tursus match, and then we started after the intermission with Colt Cabana taking on Archibald Peck, who was Peck was accompanied by Veronica and Colt Cabani, and this was I mean, these two had their match at King of Trios, and I don't feel like they got enough time back then. They definitely had enough time this time, this go around, I guess I should say. And Colt was his usual self, and these two can really work off each other well. Both guys are just kind of innately funny, and there were a lot of really funny spots. Like, oh god, I don't know. There were a bunch of them. Probably one of the funniest ones was Peck putting Colt in a sleeper hold, Colt immediately falling asleep, like actually falling asleep, lying on the mat, sucking his thumb, and so Archie decides that he's going to take advantage of it, goes up to the top rope, tries to hit the flying headbutt, and just as he's about to hit him, Colt sits up, rested and wakeful, is waking up as if he's awoken from a full night's sleep, and proceeds to just beat the crap out of Peck and gets the victory. It was a really entertaining match. It was a bit, it was mostly funny with a bit of serious in the middle, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. Next was probably the downer of the night, with Icarus taking on Gregory Iron, and unfortunately through, shall we say, shenanigans, Icarus wound up with the victory. And I know that not every show can be all of the good guys win all the time, because that would probably make for a boring show. So Icarus was the one guy to take on the responsibility of being the one heel to really win, and through shenanigans, whatever. Point is, it left a bad taste in my mouth, but that's a good reason that it was the 5th match on the card and not the last match on the card. And hopefully it will set up a bit for future stuff. Oh, of course, I forgot about after the match when Grand Akuma, announcers were saying that he made his return last night at the Cybernetico, which I really think they should have waited until tonight on iPPV so people everywhere could have seen it live, but whatever. Grand Akuma made his return, I guess, again, was going to confront Icarus, but accidentally kicked Greg Iron in the face. So that's setting up Icarus versus Grand Akuma for next season, which should be awesome. I think it's been a long time since Akuma was in a Chikara ring, and I've missed him terribly. So I'm happy to see him back. Next up, we have the Spectral Envoy taking on the BDK, and as was pointed out, this was a Lucha de Apuestas match. Both Hello Kid and Ultramantis Black were putting up their masks. Tim Donst was putting up his hair, and Ares was putting up the Eye of Tyr, which he stole from Ultramantis a couple of years ago. But this stuff was before I began watching Chikara, but I really want to go back to the back catalog and watch this stuff, but I really don't have the funds right now to do that. So, this was also a no disqualification match, which pretty much meant that anything goes. There was one rather scary spot near the middle of the match where Ultramantis and Ares were on the outside, standing on the wooden ring steps. There were a couple of chairs set up in front of Ares, so behind Ultramantis. Ares is trying to use a tiger driver on Ultramantis to drop him onto the floor through the chairs, but Mantis turned it into a back body drop, and I can't confirm this because I only saw it once, but it looked like Ares might have hit the back of his head or his neck on the steps as he was falling, and of course after that, I don't know if that happened, but it looked really bad. And of course, after that happened, he fell through the chairs and onto the floor, which, of course, as I said before, is not padded, so it must have hurt like hell. With the end, Tim Donst actually left the match at the end, just basically leaving Ares out to get destroyed by Hollow Wicked, and Mantis finished him off with a Cosmic Doom through a steel chair, which looked like it probably hurt like hell. And Mantis recovered the Eye of Tyr, and what this is going to mean for the future of Chikara and for the Spectral Envoy remains to be seen. The final match of the night was the match to determine the first ever Grand Champion between Eddie Kingston and Lightning Mike Quackenbush. One of the things that was really cool about this match was, as it was going on, everyone from the back, every current person on the Chikara roster who could be there, came out ringside to surround the ring. There were even a bunch. I didn't actually get a chance to see many of these faces because I was too busy watching the match. But apparently, a bunch of former Chikara wrestlers were there. I did manage to see Hydra. Let's see, they were saying Mr. Zero. I believe I saw Rorschach, and apparently even Reckless Youth was there, which I thought was really cool. And of course, Tommy Dreamer was in Eddie Kingston's corner for the entire match. The match itself, it's one of the few times where I feel like a match could have gone on for a few more minutes, but as it was, if Eddie Kingston's knee is really as bad as he says it is, I can understand cutting it short, even though it was about 18 minutes long. It's still, it was a really emotional, hard-fought battle between the two. Quackenbush showed some really evil tactics, shall we say, using finger pokes and things like that were very uncharacteristic of him, which I did manage to watch. What was the show? Small But Mighty. One of the two shows one of the three shows, I guess, from October. I think it was October. I don't know. Whatever. And he, during his match with Sarah Del Rey, he was kind of using the same sort of tactics. And I guess, I don't know if that's kind of a change for him for the future, but it definitely seemed out of place for him. But then again, if that's how he's going to go, that's how he's going to go. But in the end, Eddie Kingston won with, let's see, at least a backdrop driver, was it a tiger suplex, I think, and then 2 back fists to the future. It was a pretty rapid, horrifying assault of moves to finally win. And, of course, not of course, but at the end, Larry Sweeney's, I think it was his brother and one of his good friends came out to present Eddie Kingston with the Grand Championship belt. And he gave a short but very heartfelt speech saying that basically no one's going to take the title from him. So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about very quickly. This was, again, a very good show. I'm going to go ahead and buy it on DVD when it comes out, even though I just watched it, because I feel like it would be necessary to have something like this in my collection. And even if you're not a wrestling connoisseur, I'm not saying I am by any stretch of the imagination, but I would say that you should pick this up for the sole reason, if nothing else, than to support CHIKARA and what they do. Because really, as Eddie Kingston said at the end of the show, they really are the best product in the world right now, I think. And I agree with, he says it, I agree with him. I highly recommend that you check this out. If there's one single show that you should pick up this year, if you only have $15 that you can spend on independent wrestling, get High Noon on DVD. Seriously. I'm not kidding. It was well worth the $15 to watch it on iPPV. It's nice to see them moving into the new generation. And it's just, I look forward to seeing more of their shows on iPPV. Of course, it's just going to put even a more of a drain on my bank account because I'm going to end up buying the DVDs anyway. But I think it's worth it overall. So, again, thank you for joining me. Not again, this is the first time I'm thanking you. Thanks for joining me now I'm thanking you again. Ha! There we go. Thank you for joining me for episode 4 of the Rantables Wrestling Podcast. And I might take a little break from it, but I might be back later on. We'll see. I don't know. Thanks for joining me. Be sure to check out ChiKaraPro.com. Or I don't know if the shows are if High Noon is gonna be rebroadcast on replays, but if it is, do yourself a favor and watch it. Watch High Noon, CHIKARA's High Noon, iPPV. Okay, I think I've given them enough notice for quite a while. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you all later.